Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about the Archon Type B Gen 2. So I keep my guns in these sleeves from Savior, and then they go into my range bag, which is really convenient. And I bought some extras of these on Amazon. You can get all the Savior stuff. It's really nice. I have the loose sacks for ammo, and then I have the loose haulers to put those ammo bags into, and then I have the range bag. I have these sleeves. It's really nice, and they come with these patches, and you get extras. You can buy more if you want, but it lets you kind of mark the pouches and the sacks and these things. It's really nice. So anyway, I keep it in this. This is the Archon Type B, and it's from Archon Firearms, but it's sort of via PTR. So PTR is making the Archons, at least in the United States. I'm not sure what's going on overseas, but that's kind of what's going on here. PTR is now making these. The slide that I have is from Germany, but as I understand it, the frame and everything else is from PTR. And I don't know if going forward PTR is making the slides as well now, or if they're getting imported from Germany. But that's kind of a breakdown of how they're being made or where. So it's sort of a US made gun, but also made in Germany. Sort of both, I guess, in this instance. But as far as I understand, going forward, they'll be US made, which is nice. This is a Gen 2. There is a Gen 1, which has a little bit different of a handle, or a grip, sorry. It actually is a chassis system, which is really cool. So you can buy these grip modules. You can get them from PTR. Don't know if you can get them anywhere else, but if you go to PTR's website, you'll see the Archons, you'll see the grip modules, magazines, you'll see, I guess, other parts if you need any. And then you can also get these from Rain 6. And that is where I had this modified. So this is not the grip tape that comes on it. And then I had some other things done I'll talk about as we go through here. But when you get it, it will be stock. It'll have the Talon grips. So the way this grip module works is it has these milled in areas for grip tape, and it's set up for Talon grips, and it comes with a sort of rubbery feeling Talon grip. But you can buy the grip kits from PTR. You can buy them from Rain 6, probably other places, and you can remove that tape and put in your own, which is really cool. It seems very simple. I sent mine off to Rain 6 for other work, so I just had them do the grip tape as well. But you can just buy the grip packs, and then they're like 30 bucks or something like that, and then you can install it yourself on all the parts, which is, I think, really cool. The rubbery one is pretty smooth. That's why I wanted it changed. There is an intermediate one as well, and then there's this one. I believe it's called Granulate. And it's like sandpaper. I mean, it's very aggressive, and I like that. It really feels good in my hand. I am one of those people with sweaty hands. Things will slide out of my hands if I don't have some kind of grip like this. And I would say this is probably one of my favorite textures that I have felt. You know, stippling is nice. I really like my shadow systems because it has the stippling on it. I have another gun, a SIG, that I did a video on actually not too long ago, 365. It has the Mascus Precision Slide and an Icarus grip. It has the Icarus Polymer Air grip. And that one has like prickly milling or whatever on the grip. And it's almost like it's good. Like it feels, it keeps the gun in your hand, but it's almost too pokey. Like it kind of stabs you, and it would kind of poke me right in the webbing here, and it's not that comfortable, where this is more granular, so to speak, and it just feels really good in the hand. They have these nice patches here and here. They have them on both sides, obviously. They cover all of the modular pieces, which we'll talk about. But it's really nice to have this kind of locator spot here. I kind of use this pin and then the rough texture up here to kind of index my index finger. So when I'm not shooting, when my finger's not on the trigger, I come up and I can put my finger onto this pin slash granulate area here. If you have a huge hand or something, your fingers are way longer, yours might come up to like there. But it's a really good indexing spot for me to find where I'm at. The grip itself is nice and wide. In this dimension, it's about the same as my Shadow Systems DR920P, which is, it's a full-size Glock style gun. Basically a 17 frame, and then like 34 length, but it's about the same width this way, but this way, this gun is thicker than my Shadow Systems. The Shadow Systems isn't like an inch thick, you know, like a SIG P365 or a Shield or whatever, but it's slimmer than this. This is quite a bit thicker, which at first I honestly did not like. I thought this was too thick. I'll measure it here. I'm assuming it's, oh, here's the battery's dead. I'm assuming the slide is about Glock width, because I'm not sure if the base of this gun is like a Gen 3 Glock, like one of those sort of clone ones. It's completely different, but I feel like that's maybe where they started. Just to give you an indicator here, it's, let's see, an inch and a quarter, maybe? Something like that. Wish those calipers were working, but what are you going to do? You can always look it up. You can choose which optic cut you want. I really prefer a direct mount system with my optics. I do not want to deal with plates. I've been lucky so far and have not had to deal with any plates, and I'm hoping to keep it that way. So I went with the RMR, and I figure a full-size gun like this, something that I would be using for the range and potentially competition. I probably not, you know, I don't feel like comfortable enough that I'm good enough or anything for that. I'm relatively new to doing more than just going to the range a few times a year and shooting paper, right? I've been doing more than that, but just kind of getting into it. So we'll see what happens. But I figured an RMR cut made the most sense because I get a bigger window. But you can get the RMSC if you're going to use this as a carry gun, which a lot of people do, because again, it's modular. You could use this as a range gun and then convert it to a shorter grip and use it for concealed carry. It's super convenient, and I'm guessing a lot of people that don't want to spend thousands of dollars on multiple guns, this is a really it's a really good option for them. It's very appealing, I would assume. But it does come with either RMSC, RMR, or I think there was one more, acro cut. So you could get the aim point acro cut as well if you want. And then it's a direct mount, which is really cool. I do believe I needed to provide the screws for the optic, but usually they come with them. I bought this Swamp Fox Liberty 2 to test out. I kind of just like trying different stuff. You guys know I'm a reviewer, so I review stuff. I just like to try different things. I paid for all this stuff. I'm pretty new in the making videos for guns scene, so nobody's really sending me anything. So just so you know, it is all me on these. It is, I believe, a 3 MOA dot. It could be 2. One of those, either of those is perfectly fine for me. I do like the dot. I haven't had any issues with it. The biggest problem I've had with it, though, is I hate the tool. So the one day I went to the range, and I'm going to insert some footage as we go here of me shooting it. I did film like a full video at the range, but it got screwed up because my camera died, my battery died because I filmed that other video about that SIG first. And I also could not adjust the optic. So it was kind of just shooting blind just for making a video, which, spoiler alert, that's kind of what happens in, you know, YouTube land. You do dumb shit like shoot a gun that's not zeroed just to get footage. But I didn't bring the tool, and I just assumed my Hollow Sun tool or something I had would work. I was wrong. This is a very, very small flathead slot. And so nothing I found, I tried using bullet casings, I tried using my knife, I tried using, I just looked around the range and was like picking up different caliber shells and trying to freaking get this to work. I didn't have my Fix-It sticks bag, which I still need to do a video on those because it's an interesting toolkit. Very expensive, really nice, but also has some drawbacks, but I would recommend it. Anyway, I didn't have that with me, which probably I would have been able to figure it out with that. But anyway, I just put the tool for the Swamp Fox in the sleeve for the next time I went to the range. So it's down in here now, so I don't forget it. But it's annoying that I have to use this. You know, when I have a Hollow Sun, I can pretty much use random stuff because it's a little bit of a bigger slot. So there's that. But other than that, the optic has been good. It's held 0 as far as I can tell. I've actually been shooting really well with this gun, so I really enjoy it. It's 9mm, obviously. Probably should have started with that. The cool thing about it is it does not have a tilting barrel. So first off, no magazine, and we are clear. I'm left-handed, so it's very awkward to manipulate guns sometimes, especially on camera, so pardon that, but you can see it's clear. There's nothing in there, okay? But it does not have a tilting barrel design. It's not like a Browning style, so when the slide comes back, the barrel does not tilt up, which is very common. Most semi-auto handguns are gonna have that unless it's a revolver. So it's very rare to have this kind of setup. You'll see like Beretta 92s are also not tilting. I think it's a different system. And it has a name. I don't know the name of the system, but you could look it up if you wanted to. But essentially, the cool thing about it is it doesn't tilt up. It has a locking block in there. I will disassemble this for you. I'm not sure what YouTube's rules are, but I can always set the video to demonetize if I want to, which is fine. I'd rather show you than not show you. So you push this pin. I guess I'll show you to take it apart. You push this pin in. I try to do it completely by hand without needing tools because that's easier, obviously. And you can kind of catch the back lip of this pin and pull it out with your finger. And then you just pull it out all the way. It does not come out all the way. I mean, you can take it out all the way, but that's not how you disassemble it. You just pull it out like that. And then you do need to pull the trigger to remove the slide, just like a Glock. That's what I mean by, I think it's originally kind of based on that Glock size and setup and everything, if that makes sense. Then you have your slide here, and we'll talk about the modifications. It's pretty clear that something's going on here. But here is the internals on the slide. It's very interesting. So it's gonna be kind of greasy in here because I took it shooting last weekend and I have not cleaned it since. So the spring is not captured. It's not captured on the stock version. This is actually a DPMS style recoil spring. It was one of the upgrades I got from Rain 6. You can just buy this if you want. Comes with a few different weight springs. But even the stock spring is not captured. I'll show you that when I open the case. Then there's this locking block. So that is something completely different than a normal traditional semi-auto handgun. and then your barrel slides out from there, if that makes sense. And that is how you would field strip the gun. Now, I have taken this apart completely. I've taken this cover off. Essentially, you have this piece right here that you can push in. You can kind of see where you could push it in and then notch it, turn it, and it'll notch right here. Then you can slide this up and you can remove the striker and the spring and all that good stuff. I think there is a reduced recoil or reduced weight striker spring in here or something from Range 6 as well. But it shot pretty flat to begin with because it's very low bore axis. That's kind of the claim to fame on this. It's a full-size frame for me anyway. You can adjust it, but it's a larger gun. It's got low bore axis and it has that non-tilting barrel that soaks up a lot of the recoil apparently. The stock recoil spring is really good. And so it doesn't have a lot of recoil to begin with. I obviously had it ported in 2 locations. So I have V12 ports and I have the boxcar ports on the side. And this thing is super flat. The dot, I don't think it even leaves the window. I'm trying to remember right now. It definitely jumps up a little, but it's super low recoil. I can shoot it super fast. It's really fun. But it was expensive to get all this work done by Range 6, so that is a consideration. But they used some kind of laser tool to cut the slide, as I understand it, so they don't need to recoat anything. This is the stock coating. They just kind of laser cut this or something like that. Now, I don't love how they did the boxcar ports. You can see that they were trying to be kind of clever here and cut this portion with these sort of like serration lines. So they left them kind of raised. Let me zoom in. They left them kind of raised in some areas. And I really don't like that because it's kind of sharp. Now, obviously with time that's going to wear down and it's going to round off or whatever. But even aesthetically, I don't think it's that pleasing to the eye. I would have preferred just a rectangle just like this, right? So just something to note. If you have it done, maybe mention you just want the rectangle cut. You don't want this. Or maybe you like that. It has a fiber optic front sight. These are the stock sights. Obviously, it's been covered with, you know, carbon fouling from all the ports here. So if you have a gun with ports, or a comp really, if the front sight's up there, you really don't need fiber optic because it's going to get covered up. I can't even see it when I'm shooting, but that's why you have the optic, obviously. But here's a look at the slide. You can see the extractor there. Pretty standard stuff. As I mentioned, it's a little dirty. I usually just give it a quick wipe down, throw some gun butter on it, and I'll shoot it again. I don't need to do a deep cleaning until, you know, in the future. But I do try to keep them relatively clean in between range sessions. So I'll just wipe it down and re-oil it. I could show you that, but I don't want to make this video too much longer than it needs to be. So that is the slide. Here is the grip module. And again, like I mentioned, this is actually a chassis system. Like a 365, you can remove this unit and put it into another grip. Now, as far as I know, they only have this grip. They just have different colors of it. I think they have OD green, they have tan and FDE, something like that. They have a gray and a black. So maybe it's OD green, FDE, tan, gray and black, 4 colors. So you can change it up a little bit. And then I guess the Gen 1 grip might work. I don't know if you could remove this and put it in a Gen 1. I'm pretty sure you can take a Gen 1 and put it into the Gen 2 though. but you could definitely look into that. Ask PTR. They do sell, I think, the V1 still, or they sell the grip or something. They do have another slide available as well. I think it's called the Type D. And that one does not have this cut right here. So none of them are going to have the port, so disregard those holes. But you see how this slide kind of drops down here? They did that for press checks. At least that's what I understand. And they have a slide that's just straight. It doesn't have this, so it's more Glock-like, more of a square Glock slide. And I think that one's the Type D, where this is obviously the Type B. And then I think they're coming out with a Type A, if I'm not mistaken, which is a bigger gun, as I understand it. I think it's like more of a competition style gun. But yeah, so it's modular in that sense. And then the grip is modular in the sense that you can remove these pieces and it comes with different back straps. So let me grab all that stuff. Give me 1 second. Real quick, before I show you that, let me just show you how you put the slide back on. So obviously you put it together the way you took it apart, put the barrel in, you drop this lug in. Just so you know, that lug will go in one way. So you can't put it in the wrong way. Don't worry about that. But basically I just turn it, put it in. If it doesn't fit, turn it around, put it the other way. I don't try to figure out which way it goes. And then the recoil spring goes in. And pretty straightforward in that sense. And you just put it on the rails. And you want to slide it back. And then you want to, what I do is I kind of just pull it back while I'm putting pressure on the pin. And I just wait for it to slot in. It's usually just a little bit and it'll pop right in. And now we are back together. Good to go. So just wanted to show you that. We'll talk about the trigger in a little bit, but I did have that modified as well. Just the internals, not the shoe. Okay, so here's the case it comes in. Hard case. Just says Archon by PTR. Nothing crazy. Couple of latches. All right. You're going to get a bag with these type of parts in them. Back straps. This is the original recoil spring. So there you go. You can see what it looks like. And this is the original spring. So just show you. And then this is the original striker spring, I guess. And then there's the optic plate in there. And maybe some other little things. Like you get extra roll pins, which is cool. But basically, you slide this in here. And then you push it. And you put it into the gun. It's very easy. You just have to put some pressure on it when you're taking it out. Just push it forward and then lift up. And it'll come out. But this one's nice because it has this, it has the wire cut. See how it kind of wraps around and then it flattens out here and it's cut? They have that on both ends, so it doesn't matter which way you put it on. On the aftermarket one, the DPMS style one, it has different springs, but they're not cut that way. They have one side like this, and then they have one side that is literally just like cut off right here. And you got to make sure you put that cutoff side onto the guide rod, because you need this side with the flat section to go into the front of the slide. Otherwise, it could potentially like fit its way around the front of the guide rod and come out or something. So anyway, if you're getting a stock one, you don't have to worry about any of that. What else is in here? So it looks like this is the mag release. Interesting. Did they replace that, I guess? I didn't even notice that. And then mine came with a threaded barrel as well. So you can get these. I guess this bag is kind of useless now. You can get these with just the stock barrel, and it will be more affordable. I think they're like it's somewhere around 800 sugar cubes. So 800 sugar cubes, and you get the regular setup. Mine was like 950 sugar cubes, and it came with another barrel. And the reason why I did that was twofold. One, I wanted to suppress it because I thought it would be fun to have suppressed pistols. I've kind of learned that I don't care that much about suppressed pistols. It's not as fun as rifles, because with rifles, you can put a suppressor on and then just do what you would normally do. When you put a suppressor on a pistol, it's not as fun, I guess, to like try to shoot accurately, or you know, you'd have to get a different holster if you wanted to like draw from the holster and do drills. It just doesn't make sense with a handgun. So don't really need this. But the other benefit of it is that now I have a barrel that is not ported. So let's say I did want to do competition. I don't know all the PSA rules, but if I used it as is, I would end up in the open division because I have porting, comp, whatever. I'm not even sure if this would be allowed because it's kind of like double ported. I'm not sure how that works. But I have a barrel that does not have any porting. So I assume I could just put this in and then I'd be fine. I'd be in carry optics or whatever it's called. Now, I don't know if they have a rule about threaded barrels or anything. So, you know, again, not an expert. I do not claim to be an expert on anything. So you don't need to blast me in the comment section for stuff I don't know. What you could do is nicely and respectfully let us know in the comments. I would appreciate that. I'm sure people watching who like these kinds of in-depth videos where I ramble instead of just doing a 30-second short and rambling off a bunch of shit about the gun. People who are here for the long form might appreciate that. So anyway, you can get it with the two barrels if you like. It comes with, this part I don't love. I get it, but I don't love it. It comes with a 16 round. It says 15, but it holds 16. They do rattle when they're full though, which is weird. They function perfectly, but they will rattle with that 18th round or 16th round in. So you could just put 17 or 15 in and not have it rattle. If you're carrying it, I don't know. Anyway, it comes with both of these. And then the grip is modular. That's what I was trying to get at. You get these extra back straps, right? So I think one of these is just to give you an extra, I'm going to say Glock 19 size, because that's essentially what it's going to be. Compact size back straps. You can choose between two different back straps for the compact size. See how this one has a bigger bulge? If you have a bigger hand, you could use this one. And then there's a subcompact back strap. And then there's the one on it, which is the full-size back strap. And then you can remove these pieces to make those fit. So basically, you pop out the two roll pins here. Do not take this one out. I made that mistake. That's for the mag catch. And unfortunately, it likes to kind of push out to the side. And I always end up having to kind of push it back in. I don't know if it would ever walk all the way out, but I wish I had never removed it. But you remove this one, and then you can pull this off, and you can either just put this one down here on, because it has the magwell on it. Just put that one on, and then you would have a Glock 19 size, where this is a Glock 17 size, right? Grip. The slide, I believe, is a Glock 19 length slide or whatever. But don't hold me to that. Just to show you what it looks like. I can hold a ruler up to it for anybody who needs to know, but you can look up specs. It's very easy. So 6 inches is right here. So, I don't know. We're looking at like 7 1/4, 7 1/2, length slide, something like that. Anyway, or you can remove all of this stuff, just put in the small back strap, and now you have a Glock 26 size handle or grip. So it's really cool that it has that functionality. Now, me personally, because I'm using this for the range, and like I said, maybe competition, probably not. Again, not even sure if it would work. I just want 17 round mags. So I have a useless 15 round magazine, 16 round magazine, which is annoying because I went and bought another 17, 18 rounder. I need to buy some more. And they're like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks, maybe they're 40 bucks plus shipping or whatever. I wish I could have chosen, like I wish when I ordered it was like, hey, are you going to use this as a full size or a compact? Because we can give you 2 17s, right? Instead of one of each. It's annoying. If you used it as a Glock 19 size, which I guess they assume most people will, I think that's the theory. Then you can use the 15 rounder and then you have the 17, which will just stick out a little bit, which would be fine. I wouldn't care about it sticking out a little bit if I'm at the range or whatever. But for me, I need the 17 rounder because this obviously does not fit in here. I mean, it slides in, but it's not going to click in. It's not going to work. So I just have a wasted magazine, which is kind of annoying. So now I have to buy more, and, you know, them being 40 bucks a pop, maybe they're 30, I can't remember. Still, it's money, and it would have been nice if you got to choose, but I get it. It's modular, just something I wanted to note. So that's kind of how the grip works. It's very simple. You just take a punch and a armorer's hammer or whatever you use, and you just knock those out, pull them out, put in the ones you want. Just make sure you put them in the right order so they go in. Oh, there's also this one for the back strap. So there's 3, potentially. And then you just slide them all in and put the pins in it. It's super easy, not a big deal. Just read the instructions like a normal person, not a dumbass, because I took this one out. And yeah. Then the mag catch fell out. The spring was the important part. That fell out. And it took me a long time to get it back in. I had to take the whole gun apart. I had to take the chassis out so I could get my hands in there. So yeah, just don't touch this one is what I'm saying. When I sent it to Range 6, they also smoothed out this mag catch a little bit. It's still a little sticky, but it's not a problem. I can hit it. I don't have any issues with it at all. They also tried to limit this gap right here. From factory, this gap is even wider between the slide and the frame. I don't know what that's about. Maybe because of the non-tilting barrel, or I don't know. But they took out what they could. They said they couldn't go any further because I guess stuff would start rubbing. I don't know. So it looks a lot better than it did from factory. But honestly, until somebody pointed it out, I didn't really notice that. So I'm sorry if you have one and now you noticed. The other stuff they did. So they did the V12 and boxcar ports. That was the most expensive thing. I think that was like, it was like right around 460 sugar cubes. And then the grip stuff was like 35 sugar cubes. Then they did the trigger. They have 2 options now. When I did it, they only had one. They had a 4-pound combat trigger or something. Now they have like a master trigger or something, and that one's a 3-pound. And then now, the more I use it, the more I like think I might want to, you know, do like fun drills with it, maybe compete with it. The more I want that 3-pound trigger. But this one is really good. They really crisp it up. So there is some take up, but then it hits a wall, and it, I mean, it's really good. So take up, but then just a wall. There's no creep. Just breaks. Reset. Maybe a little longer than I would like, but I haven't had any issue with it in actual fire, live fire. just, I mean, if I really, really go slow, maybe I can feel a little bit of movement before the break, but you don't feel it creeping. It doesn't feel sluggish or anything. I mean, it's really good. It's definitely the best trigger I've felt in a polymer framed gun personally. I haven't messed with any like Canics or anything, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But man, is this worth the, I think it was like 300 sugar cubes. Maybe it was 400. It was an expensive trigger job, to be honest. But altogether, I spent, I think, another 1,000 sugar cubes on modifying this at range 6. So again, stock, it's really good. The trigger is way different now. Like, it has that wall and just breaks. It's not like that stock. It's sort of like a rolling break. I don't love it. It was okay, you know, not the end of the world if you're just getting this for self-defense or something like most people would. But if you're going to shoot this in competition or something like that, man, this trigger job makes a huge difference. Very well done by range 6. So yeah, they did the grips, they did the trigger, they fixed the mag release, they fixed this gap a little bit, they did the porting, they put the recoil reduction springs in the for the striker and the recoil guide rod and springs. And then I also bought a holster from them. So they sell holsters for this gun, which are kind of rare because it's a niche style gun. There's not a ton of holsters out there for it. Now, you might be able to get it into a Glock 19 holster. Haven't tested that, so you could look on Reddit or something and get that info. But I got the CompTac holster that they make for it, or that they have for it. They also do a compensator for this, which mounts onto the Picatinny rail. So the comp goes over the top and then mounts down here. It's pretty cool. They even have an option where the comp has a rail on it, so you can still put a light on it, which is a little crazy, but just for shits and giggles at some point I might get that, but then it's not going to work with this holster, so that's annoying. But they sell a holster that works with the compensator. And they have left-handed holster options, which is ideal for me. And then I have a Ben Stoeger Boss hanger on here so that I get the offset. It's a 3/4 inch offset, and then it hangs down, so it's off my body and hangs down a little bit. And then I got this leg strap from T-Rex Arms, and it worked out perfectly because they have a little grommet hole here, and it fit right where the thigh pad connects on to the Boss hanger. So I was able to put that thigh strap down there, and it kind of fits on there perfectly. And I needed that because the way I have this set up, hanging so low and everything, when I go to draw, the holster wanted to come up like this. Now that was before I got the belt that I have. I bought the Core Essentials competition belt, and that's really thick and stiff, and that's what she said. And I think that really helps manage that where it wants to come up like this. It's the one downside to having an offset holster. But having that belt, I think, probably would have solved it by itself. When I tested this, I tested it on my normal Blue Alpha EDC belt, which isn't quite as thick or stiff. Again, what she said. So I think I would have been fine without this, but it actually is comfortable, and it just reinsures. That makes no sense, but it's a really good holster. It also comes with, the holster comes with an offset mount, like a plastic one that hangs down a little bit. It's obviously not going to be as far down or offset as this, but it does come with an offset mount, and then it comes with a belt and a paddle option. So that holster by itself is like $75, and I think that's really all you would need for the range. So if you want to be an idiot and go crazy and get all this other stuff like me, that's just me being dumb, you can. But I do love this, by the way. It works really, really well. I know there's newer options like the Hennings and other stuff. I'm going to eventually get there. But this is the setup I have currently for my Archon Type B. So that's really it. Hopefully I put in some footage of me shooting this guy as we went along here, but I love this. I love it. Big shout out to my buddy Jim Skelton. I believe his gun channel is A to Z EDC. He does gun reviews over there. He also has a knife review channel, just Jim Skelton. Good dude, he's a good friend, and he recommended this gun to me when I was asking him for an option for a full-size range style gun. He said this would be really good, and you could obviously put it into a carry roll if you want to. Yeah, so shout out to Jim. Check out his videos. Again, that's A to Z EDC. And let me know if you guys have any questions. That's what I am here for. If you guys are looking at this gun, if you're surfing the YouTubes and you found this video, if you have questions about it, please let me know. You can leave them in the comments. You can hit me up, LeftyEDC88@gmail.com. And I'm on Instagram as well at LeftyEDC. Happy to answer any questions so you can make a better decision. That's really why I started YouTube, because I was not getting the answers and information that I wanted to make decisions on gear. And it made it a lot more difficult. I'd have to buy stuff, realize it sucked, and then sell it or try to just throw it in a corner and get the thing that is good. And so I started the channel so that I could maybe just give more thorough information. You don't need all the information. You can skip through it. You know, people don't have to watch the long videos. But for those people who want every little detail they can get, you know, trying to help here. So if you have any questions, let me know. Here's the rear sight. It is not co-witness with this dot. Just so you know, I think part of that is just the dot. It does seem kind of tall, but it does sit into the slide pretty good. So maybe all sights would not co-witness. Not sure on that, but this one doesn't. And I don't care at all. I don't want it co-witnessing. It kind of actually distracts me. So there it is, Archon Type B Gen 2. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, the usual nonsense. And I'll be back with more gear content going forward. I love you guys, and I'll catch you later.